when I did look at the script, I didn't have any lines. I said, hello, you know, I'm an actress here. And they said, oh, well, this is going to be a lot more difficult because you're not going to say one word during the whole film. I was like, okay. And they were right. It's way more difficult to not, of course, as soon as you open your mouth, what do they say? The more you talk, the dumber you sound, So, this was going to be a very big challenge to me. I mean, I had gone to acting school, but I wasn't sure if anything I learned there was going to be coming in handy here. But, back then when they were shooting this film and looking at it today, it's really not from a gynecologist's point of view. Like the films that are made today, it's very, the insertion shots and all that stuff's real heavy. Back then it was a lot more of from the waist up, from the neck up. They were shooting a lot of like full face on screen, like large facial shots. So you really had to be careful. I learned a lot about making films, and you really have to be careful about, I have a lot of very large expressions that I can make that you have to really be careful when it's filling up the whole screen, your face, you have to really tone it way down. And it was a challenge for sure. And I felt that if somebody could understand what was going on in my head through my eyes, then it would give them an idea of what Gloria was going through, because I was going through the same thing, to tell you the truth, because they didn't really want me to know what was going to happen. So the Mitchell brothers were the kidnappers. I don't know if you knew that in the film. They were the guys that kidnapped me. So I know that they got off on that one. And they were rough. They threw me in the car and blindfolded me, and it was really kind of cool, because it was really, you really felt like you were going through this thing. I really put myself in the position of Gloria. And then when she walked out from behind the green door, I really didn't know what to expect, to tell you the truth. So it was scary, and on the other hand, it was really exciting, which is sometimes what sex should be. And especially with Johnny Keys, I was frightened, I'll tell you. Because when I saw him walk out, I thought, oh my gosh. And it's not like I hadn't met anybody before, but here was acting. But really, when you do a sex film, it's kind of like a documentary, because it's really happening. It's not something that you can fake. It's when you're really having sex, you're really having sex. And the feelings, the emotions that are coming over you are really what's happening to you. It's kind of hard to act that. So when Johnny Keys did his thing, I'll never forget, there was a moment of kind of a primitive thing when we both looked in each other's eyes and something just clicked. And that's when I just kind of let loose and got into it, as Gloria would have, because I wasn't going to be able to leave there, so I might as well enjoy myself. And from then on, I really got into it. But I remember that one moment on screen when that happened, and I think as a viewer, you can see that. And the thing that made the film special was, it was about this woman, and I think you were able to feel the kinds of feelings that she was feeling. And when it turned into the really hot sexual thing, that's when the film took off. But it was really fun. Political passion at that moment in the whole country was staunchly against pornography. And unfortunately, today, that's not happening. So a lot of the film, there's no controversy anymore. And so, needless to say, back then, there was a lot of people on a soapbox professing that, porno was just, horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and which was great for business, But Dianne Feinstein, in the city of brotherly love in San Francisco, probably the loosest place in the world, and still is, one of my favorite cities. Here she was, totally anti-porn, which really pissed the Mitchell brothers off. But again, it brought them a lot of publicity, a lot of ink, a lot of radio and television, and that's what they needed for promotion. I mean, you couldn't buy that kind of publicity. And I think that after one time that she really came down hard on them, they put her home phone number up on the marquee. So in the middle of the night, she was getting all kinds of obscene phone calls. And I think that she had to have a pretty good sense of humor because she kind of took it all in stride. And of course, that got more publicity. And I was busted up there a couple of times for, I mean, it's the whole thing of if you don't want to go in there, then you don't need to pay the money and you don't need to watch the shows. If you do want to go in there, then why should you be hassled? I mean, they yanked guys out of there the night I was busted and drug them down to jail, and it's pretty ridiculous. And I think that the people in San Francisco really became irate about this, that needlessly spending taxpayers' money on, there must have been 50 cops there. And when they took me down to the police station and put me in a cell, it was actually a holding cell, and I remember I don't think I had anything on under I had a fur coat on, sorry. And I had nothing on underneath it. They just like yanked me out of there. They thought it was really funny. But they were really nice to me, and one by one, they all came in there and had their Polaroid taken with me. And I signed them all. And it was very, they're all really polite and, oh, hi, Miss Chambers. I finally got bailed out. But the next day, the shows it was sold out for a week.